So, just like every single year, there's always a crop of undrafted free agents that a lot of Washington Commanders fans take a liking to. And this year is no different, as Ja'Cory Brooks is the new favorite guy that everyone wants to talk about. Someone hit me up in the comment section and was like, Juan, why hasn't nobody covered Ja'Cory Brooks? I said, good question. I'm not really sure. But I'm gonna be the person to do it for you. Just let me do my research. And after doing my research, let's just say I could see why a lot of people are excited about this guy. Let's talk about it.
The way that we live is not for everybody.
Nah, that ain't it, y'all.
How do you think the rest of Jaden Daniels' career is going to go? If we're, 6, 7 games into Jaden Daniels' career and he's already milking injuries, like...
Stop saying my name, you dick riding bastard. I love the way she move it, shake it on me. When she cry for him, and Shawty is the winner. You can tell that Shawty love again now, she's confident.
YouTube, what's going on? It's Juan Gotti here. We have the Washington Commanders video, and in today's video, I'm coming on here with a video where we're going to be talking about undrafted free agent wide receiver Ja'Cory Brooks and see if he could potentially make the roster. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. Before we do, make sure you guys go down below, leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel if you are new, turn on post notifications so you get notified when I upload new videos like this to the channel. We're on the road to 10,000 subscribers, so it'd be greatly appreciated if you haven't reached that goal as soon as possible. Thank you so much. Let's get straight into it. So when this first took place, like the undrafted free agent signings, the reason why I really didn't jump on Ja'Cory Brooks is because, well, we drafted Lane out of VTech. That was another receiver we added to the group, and obviously everything that we also had added to the group in Deebo Samuel and Noah Brown and Michael Gallup, like, I really just wasn't like thinking too much of him. I was more so looking at the guy that we got from North Carolina State, the offensive lineman that we paid $250,000 for, who was a projected to be a third-round pick if he didn't have a torn, I believe it was a tricep. That's who I was more interested in. I wasn't even really interested in what's it, Cypress or Fentrell Cypress from Florida State. But after looking at this film of Ja'Cory Brooks, I said, man, this guy could be something. Now, when it comes to potential undrafted free agents, it's always tougher for them to make the roster, but there's never an impossible feeling or impossible way, I should say, of them making a roster. Just look at Tyler Owens last year. Now, I get it. Safety and special teams is different than being a receiver and trying to be an actual wide receiver for a team, but maybe the best way to make a roster, obviously, we know is carving out a way on special teams, and who knows if Ja'Cory Brooks can be that. Maybe he starts out as a gunner, and then he could work his way in to being, some type of receiver if he shows promise in training camp and preseason. But the big thing that I feel like a lot of people are excited when it comes to Ja'Cory Brooks is, one, he played at Alabama on a big stage with Bryce Young, you know what I'm saying? And obviously he went to, I believe it was Louisville, if I could remember correctly. I just watched this film like 10 minutes ago, so I shouldn't have forgot, but brain is not braining this morning. One thing that Lowe was very apparent was his deep ball tracking, right? He's not the most athletic guy in terms of speed, top end speed, but he's 6'2", and his deep ball tracking, there I say, is elite. I mean, there was this one play that he was battling with the cornerback, and the cornerback was harassing him. He drew the PI, and he still found a way to get his eyes back around and find the ball. Like, that is something that I feel like is one of the best traits a receiver can have. That is why a guy like Terry McLaurin is so successful in the NFL, right? Like, Terry isn't, I always say this, he isn't the most talented receiver, like, and I mean talent, I mean Justin Jefferson, that's God-given, right? Jamar Chase, that's God-given. Tyreek Hill, that's God-given. Terry McLaurin is fast, yes, don't get me wrong, he's fast, ran a 4.3 at the combine, but a lot of these things that other receivers that are considered elite, they have possessed, Terry doesn't. But the reason why he's so successful and is in the same category as these guys, even though he's not as talented, is because of how hard he works, right? Deep ball tracking isn't something that's God-given. That is something that you have to work for and earn for. Urban Meyer made him catch 200 footballs a day, and this guy gives me those kind of vibes. Not Terry McLaurin vibes in terms of, his production, but in terms of, hey, I'm not the most talented, not the most athletically gifted kind of guy. However, I know I can make this roster. I know I can play at this level. I just have to work for it. And I love players like that. I love players. Don't get me wrong. Of course, it would be cool to have a guy that's just flat out giving all the God-given talents in the world, but having a guy that worked for his craft, worked for what he had to build, that's something that you can't take from somebody, right? It's like almost as if you learned how to cut hair or you learned a trade. No matter what happens in your life, you can't never forget it. And that's how these players are tend to be looked at. Now, he was really, really good at Louisville. You know what I'm saying? He got his feet wet at Alabama, but my assumption, I should say, is that team is just always stacked. It's Alabama, right? So maybe he got just pushed out because of the talent there, but he went to Louisville and he continued his success. Now, again, he doesn't have breakaway speed, so he's not going to be a guy that climbs off of the charts at you. He's not going to be the most physical guy with you, but at the line of scrimmage, he can. He's not going to necessarily be the guy that is going to high point every single football. However, again, the deep ball tracking is what's through the roof for me. Now again, he does have the ability to climb the ladder, right? Climb the ladder, battle for footballs, but he's not 6'4", 6'5". We're still in need of kind of trying to find that guy. Honestly speaking, if Ja'Cory Brooks makes this roster, if he can just be another Noah Brown, that would be cool. And I know y'all always say, Juan, you're overhyping Noah Brown. Noah Brown is cool, but he's not what you're making it out to be. I beg to differ. And I think Noah Brown gives you 500 receiving yards. That's good, right? And if he could be half of that, Ja'Cory Brooks in year one, that would be really good. Now, of course, again, it's a long shot for him to make this roster for a lot of reasons, right? Terry McLaurin, Michael Gallup, Debo Samuel, Noah Brown, Luke McCaffrey. Now you got Jalen Lane, right? KJ Osborne's still around, but I think this could be the KJ Osborne replacement, right? I'm not really that high on KJ Osborne. Maybe they still is the reason why he's brought back, even though he didn't really do much last season. I think he has a nice shot to maybe take that roster, be the seventh receiver on this roster, maybe makes the practice squad. But it's always that guy that, as a fan base, we kind of fall in love with when in training camp and preseason, and he's always around, but not necessarily always makes noise. Remember Mitchell Tinsley from a couple years ago? Like I really thought it was something there with him, right? From Penn State, I was like, man, this guy really can make the roster and be really good. Did not end up making a roster. Remember Robert Davis from years ago, number 19 preseason, was really good, and I'm like, man, this guy has something. Didn't ultimately turn out to be anything, right? Bryson Tremaine, right? I always liked Bryson Tremaine, and I felt like he was the big body receiver that could have panned out here, or at least got an opportunity to be something. Not really much of anything, right? Casman Allen, same thing. And I know he was much on a different scale because he actually effed up, right? He was dropping punts and stuff like that, but not really amounted to anything. So this guy, I have a feeling, couldn't be different, right? Because this regime actually likes adding undrafted free agents to their roster, right? Giving them opportunities and chances to actually show what they have. And again, he has a skill set that can translate well to the NFL, right? Even though he's not the most physical guy, he can get physical with you, and he's not afraid to block, right? That's one thing a receiver has to have, in my opinion, is the ability to get out there and block and screens and get your hands dirty in a run game. Like, I love the fact that we have a receiving core that's not afraid to do that, right? Led by Terry McLaurin, who we know prides himself in being able to block, even having a slight frame, 6 foot, 100+ pound frame, right? He's not your big guy, but he's not afraid to get dirty. And same thing with Ja'Cory Brooks. Now, let me know what you guys think about it. I know a lot of y'all are much more deeper into college football than me. Some may be Alabama fans, some may be Louisville fans, and actually seen this guy up close and personal. But from his film, the first thing again that jumped off the field and film and to my eyes, I mean, is this guy can track a football from anywhere. He's like a center fielder in baseball. Like, anything in his vicinity, he seems to be able to snag it and track it and make the catch. And again, that is so crucial for a receiver at the next level. Just Think about Terry McLaurin in the sense of that pass that he caught against the Steelers, right? The pass that he caught against the Chargers years ago, right? Like twirling his body and just like that is what makes you so valuable in the NFL, because every time your quarterback isn't going to be perfect, right? Your quarterback isn't going to be able to make the most catchable football every single time. But if it's in your vicinity and in your area, that is what separates you from having a subpar career or being just an average Joe and being a guy that a team needs, right? And that's all you need to do sometimes is just give your receiver a chance. And of course, we know Five's going to do that. So let me know what you guys think about this down below in the comment section. Do you think he can make this roster? Me personally, I see him as a bubble guy. Like, I see him potentially taking a KJ Osborne, position, maybe the 7th receiver on his roster, practice squad guy, push come to shove if he needs to be called up for special teams or, we get banged up at the receiver position, God forbid, knock on wood. He's your first guy you call up. But other than that, at this moment, I'm not sure if he's one of the 6, because I assume that there's going to be 6. And with Luke McCaffrey being a second-year receiver, I don't see him going anywhere with them drafting Jalen Lane. He's in the forefront. He's making this roster. So as always, me, boy, Juan Gotti, make sure you like, comment, subscribe to this channel. On over to 10,000 subscribers. So really appreciate me reach that goal as soon as possible. Thank you so much. You have a blessed one. Stay safe. Be easy out there. Peace.
Never gave a damn. Ballin' like I'm Deshaun, throw the bomb, G. That's IG, my jersey never seen a line.